welcome back to the Knowledge Catalog. This is still grade 9 chemistry. But this time we are moving forward to the learning competency number 7, which is explaining how the structure of the carbon atom affects the type of bonds it forms. So if you notice, we skipped ahead from learning competencies number 4, 5, and 6 because it was actually an identified error. So yeah, the previous video was supposed to talk about the learning competency numbers 4, 5, and 6, but I was not able to note that. And so I'm just explaining so that you can follow through. If you want to have some sort of a reading material, you can open your learner's module to Unit 2, Module 3, pages 38 to 44. This is divided into the classic 3 parts. The first part is a pre-assessment, multiple choices. The second part is a discussion on organic compounds, and the last part is activity number 1, organic compounds. Are they useful? And so let's begin with the pre-assessment. Question number 1, which of the following statements best describe organic compounds? A, organic compounds are compounds that contain carbon and oxygen only. B, organic compounds are compounds that are produced by living things. C, organic compounds are composed mainly of carbon and hydrogen. D, organic compounds are compounds that contain carbon atoms only. You may pause this video to get more time. If you have decided to continue, we now move on to question number 2. How do carbons form many organic compounds? A, by attracting other elements towards themselves to form the bonds. B, by forming many bonds with other carbon atoms and other elements. C, by sharing their electrons with other metal and non-metal elements. D, by transferring their electrons to the atoms of surrounding elements. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move on to question number 3. What is the maximum number of bonds can a carbon atom form? A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D, 5. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move on to question number 4. Emmanuel I, a fisherman, went home with some of his catch and told his son to cook the fish. But his son said, "Father, the stove ran out of fuel already." Then his father told him to buy some so that they could start cooking the fish. Which organic compound do you think the boy will buy? A, kerosene. B, gasoline. C, lubricating oil. D, isopropyl alcohol. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move on to question number 5. Which of the following pairs of organic compounds is highly flammable or flammable? A, gasoline, acetone. B, water, ethyl alcohol. C, lubricating oil, isopropyl alcohol. D, liquefied petroleum gas, kerosene. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 6. Honey is applying something to the ball bearings of the wheels of our bicycle so that friction will be minimized. Which of the following materials do you think she is using? A, vinegar. B, isopropyl alcohol. C, kerosene. D, lubricating oil. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 7. A gasoline boy was being scolded by his store manager for smoking in the vicinity of the gasoline station. Why do you think the manager scolded his employee? A, because gasoline is volatile. B, because gasoline is flammable or flammable. C, because gasoline is viscous. D, all of the above. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 8. Joy Me scratched herself when her arm bumped into the concrete post. What do you think should she apply to make her bruises free from harmful germs? A. Formalin. B. Isopropyl alcohol. C. Water. D. Acetone. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 9. Which organic compound is used as a cleaning agent? A. Gasoline. B. Kerosene. C. Liquefied petroleum gas or LPG. D. Ethyl alcohol. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 10. Which hydrocarbon compound has a triple bond in the molecule? A. Octane. B. Methane. C. Ethene. D. Ethine. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 11. How many types of bonds are there in the following hydrocarbon compound? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 12. To which group of hydrocarbon does the molecule with the following structure belong? A. Alkane. B. Alkyne. C. Alkene. D. None of the above. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 13. Ethene is a natural gas produced in plants which acts as a natural ripening agent of fruits. Which of the following organic compounds has the same ability to ripen fruits? A. Butane. B. Propene. C. Acetylene. D. Pentyne. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, we can move to question number 14. Which alkane will most likely have a very low boiling point? A. Propane. B. Pentane. C. Butane. D. Hexane. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 15. What is the common use of methane? A. Disinfectant. B. Fertilizer. C. Artificial ripening agent. D. Fuel. Pause this video if you need more time. By continuing, it means that you are ready for the next question, question number 16. Which are true about the use of isopropyl alcohol? 1. Cleaner. B. Fuel. 3. Disinfectant. 1 cleaner, 2 fuel, 3 disinfectant, 4 fertilizer. The options are A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 3 and 4 only. D. 1 and 4 only. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 17. Salvador must remove the red paint in the paintbrush so that he could still use it again next time. What organic compound should he use to remove the paint in the paintbrush? A. Acetic acid. B. Lubricating oil. C. Kerosene. D. Formaldehyde. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 18. Which of the following compounds is a carbonyl compound? A, B, C, or D, all of the above? Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to the second to the last question. Question number 19. What organic compound is used by embalmers in treating human cadavers? A. Acetic acid. B. Formaldehyde. C. Methyl alcohol. D. Acetone. Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 20, the last question. Which of the following is an alcohol? A, B, C, or D, all of the above? Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, finalize your answers. Let us now check your work. The answer to question number 1 is C. Organic compounds are composed mainly of carbon and hydrogen. The answer to question number 2 is B. By forming many bonds with other carbon atoms and other elements. The answer to question number 3 is C. 4. Remember, carbon has 4 valence electrons. The answer to question number 4 is A. Kerosene. The answer to question number 5 is D. Liquefied petroleum gas, kerosene. The answer to question number 6 is D. Lubricating oil. The answer to question number 7 is B. Because gasoline is flammable or flammable. The answer to question number 8 is B. Isopropyl alcohol. The answer to question number 9 is B. Kerosene. The answer to question number 10 is D. Ethine. The answer to question number 11 is D. 2. There's a triple bond and a single bond. The answer to question number 12 is C. Alkene. The answer to question number 13 is C. Acetylene. The answer to question number 14 is C. Butane. The answer to question number 15 is D. Fuel. The answer to question number 16 is B. 2 and 3 only, as a fuel and as a disinfectant. The answer to question number 17 is C. Kerosene. The answer to question number 18 is C. The answer to question number 19 is B, formaldehyde, also known as formalin. The answer to question number 20, the last question, is A. Count the number of correct answers. The total number of points, the highest possible score, is 20. Okay, so I hope that you have labeled your work properly in your science notebooks or on that sheet of paper that you used. Remember, this is a pre-assessment, multiple choices. Let us now move to the second part of this session, a discussion. Okay, so this is an introduction to organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry that deals with, of course, organic compounds. And by saying organic compounds, we are talking about a group of compounds that contain the element carbon, except for cyanides, for carbonates, and for carbides. Carbon, as we know it, it has 6 electrons and 6 protons and 6 neutrons, and it has 4 valence electrons in its valence shell. The 2 electrons that will complete the number of the 6 electrons, they're found in the first energy level. The 4 electrons are found in the second energy level, which is also its valence shell. Okay, so every compound that contains carbon it can be called an organic compound, except for cyanide, which is carbon paired with nitrogen, carbonate, which is carbon paired with oxygen, and then carbide, which is carbon paired to itself, if I'm not mistaken. And so its common uses are the following. First, it can be used for gasoline. It can also be found in organic compounds, their common uses, their common phases in our everyday lives are as gasoline, as naphthalene balls. These are also called as mothballs, yung mga nilalagay sa mga aparador. Okay, so kaya sa mga lalagyan usually ng mga kumot, ng mga cobre kama, para hindi sila ipisin. Okay, so that, because cockroaches, they hate this smell. Also, vinegar is made of water and acetic acid, which is an organic compound. Vanillin is an organic compound that is found also in vanilla flavoring. Ethyl alcohol is an organic compound, and it is usually what we use as disinfectant. It comes as 40% or sometimes even 70%, which is a high concentration. And then this very familiar bottle right here, maliit lang actually yung bottle na yan, but it's familiar. It's a nail polish remover. It's made of acetone. And so organic compounds contain carbon and hydrogen combined with other elements such as oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, and halogens, such as fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So organic compounds, as we know them, they can be alkenes, or alkynes. And their identity depends on what kind of bonds are present. So when it comes to single bonds, you call that alkane, as in alkane. Okay, and then when there is a double bond, you call that an alkene or alkene. And then when there is a triple bond, you will call that as an alkyne, or it has a Y. And so those are organic compounds, and they are pretty much found in everything almost everything. Plants and animals contain organic compounds, such as a pear that contains ethyl acetate that releases that kind of smell for it. And then some organic compounds naman are produced artificially. So they can be produced naturally. They're also produced artificially, such as petroleum. In petroleum, it is processed to become either liquefied petroleum gas, yung ginagamit natin na nilalagay sa tangke, pinanluluto usually sa bahay. Gasoline. By saying gasoline, we are referring to that organic compound from petrol na ginagamit para sa pag-run ng mga vehicles. Okay, yung nagagaling sa mga ganitong klaseng gas stations such as Petron, Shell, Total, Flying V, Triple V, Phoenix. Okay, so all of those familiar gas stations, they offer gasoline. Also, lubricating oil. Some of you may be familiar with lubricating oils, pero yung iba siguro hindi sila gana familiar. Lubricating oils are the oils, okay, mga organic compounds na ginagamit para mas mag-run ng maayos ang, say for instance, mga kadena ng mga bike natin, o kaya ng mga motorbikes natin, o kaya yung mga joints, yung mga yung mga moving pieces ng halimbawa ng sewing machine. Ayan. So, they are being treated with lubricating oil para mas maging smooth yung paggalaw nila, or actually to also prevent rusting. And lastly, kerosene. Ang kerosene is yung panggasera na gas. Okay, so mas familiar siguro, kung familiar ka dito, it means baka nakakita ka na ng gasera, or if you already used, say, a torch, yung parang, by saying torch, it's not like the other torch light na it runs by electricity. There's a torch na talagang nilalight up yung parang sa mga parang sa kasi Castaway ba yun? Ay, para sa mga reality shows na gano'n, usually nakikita yung torch. Okay, sa mga tribal, para magkaroon ng tribal vibe, ang isang TV show, usually may mga sila, di ba? May mga torches sila. And so, kerosene usually ginagamit doon, panggasera. And so, as I mentioned, carbon has 4 valence electrons, and it has 2 energy levels. The second energy level serves as its valence shell. So its Lewis structure looks like this, and it can have the following kinds of bonds. So first is a methane. So it's a carbon na nakabind sa tatlong mga hydrogens at a particular kind of angle. You call this as ito namang isang to, carbon na nakabind sa carbon, and each carbon is also bound to some hydrogens. You call this as the structural formula for ethane. This is what you call as methane, since it only has one carbon. Pero kung dalawa na yung carbon, you call that as an ethane na may single bond lang, tapos kabond niya ay mga hydrogens lang. Methane is isang carbon na nakabind sa 4 na hydrogen. That is methane. And so it can form single bonds such as this. It can also form double bonds such as this. And it can also form triple bonds such as this one. And remember that the goal of carbon, kung bakit siya nakikipag-bind, it's to make itself more stable. By saying stable, to achieve octet rule. Yung dapat meron siyang 8 electrons. Okay, so dapat nakikipag-share siya ng 4 na electrons na nanggaling dun sa isa pang molecule that can either be hydrogen, a functional group, or another carbon. So that is a quick discussion and introduction for organic compounds. Let's now move to activity number 1, organic compounds. Are they useful? So the objective of this, actually it's just an objective, so remove the S, is to recognize the uses of common organic compounds. So you need a piece of paper, and a pencil for this. So yeah, I was actually about to show you some photos, pero I think you're already familiar with the following. So first is gasoline, ethanol is ethyl alcohol, acetone, yung pinag-remove na nail polish, LPG is yung nasa loob ng tangke, okay, yung pinagluluto natin sa bahay usually. Kerosene is yung sinabi ko nga na gas na panggasera. And then acetic acid is the kind of acid and organic compound that is found to be mixed then with water for vinegar. And so what you need to do lang is to put a check if you think gasoline can be used as a beverage, food, antiseptic, fuel, or a cleaner. And then do that again for ethanol, acetone, LPG, kerosene, and acetic acid. So just put some check dun sa mga cells na nag-intersect sila. Ayan. So, halimbawa, ethanol, if you think it can be used as an antiseptic, put a check in here. So you have to complete a table that uses about the uses of the compounds. So you have to put a check mark that indicates the use of the compounds. You may have more than one check mark per sample depending on its use. Halimbawa, LPG, If you think it's for beverage and food, then put 2 check marks on it, okay, in that column. Hi, so you may need to draw this on your sheets of paper. So yeah, aside from paper and pencil, you may need a ruler para straight yung mga lines ninyo. And you may need some time to finish this. So if you need some time, just pause this video. If you have decided to continue, let us now move on. Alright, so the first question for Activity 1, Organic Compounds Are They Useful is, what do you think are the characteristics of the materials which give their uses? Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move to question number 2. Why do you think these kinds of organic compounds are very important? Pause this video if you need more time. If you have decided to continue, let us move on. Ayan. So these are the correct answers. Okay, these are the cells that were supposed to be filled with a check mark. So gasoline, its only uses for fuel. For ethanol, it can be used as a we mean the primary use of them. I know that since we're in the middle of the pandemic, some of us may say it's antiseptic, though there may be some studies or some references that say so, that supports it. We are referring to its main use here in this activity. So for ethanol, it can serve as a beverage. Yes, may mga ethanol na food grade, antiseptic, and it can also be used as a fuel. And acetone for cleaner, LPG is for fuel, for kerosene for fuel and cleaner, and then for acetic acid, it's for food, and it's also considered antiseptic. The answer to question number 1, okay, is it's already this. Okay, so just refer to this table for the answer to this question. So what do you think are the characteristics of the materials which give their uses? So the characteristic of gasoline, ethanol, acetone, LPG, kerosene, and acetic acid, they have the following uses. Pero we can also say that the presence of a common element such as hydrogen and carbon makes them have almost similar uses. Say for instance, most of them can be used as fuel. Diba? So, ayan. For question number 2, the answer is these common organic compounds are very important because they have many uses at home and in the industry. So when we say at home, we can use them for cooking, we can use them for running some appliances, not really running for some appliances, siguro produce light, produce some fire, make fire. And then for the industry, they're used to power up vehicles, to basically run machines as well. So yeah, that is how important they are for the industry. I hope that you took note of the answers and that you checked your own work. Activity 1 is now declared finished. So in this video, you were able to do the following: a pre-assessment, multiple choices, discussion on organic compounds. Activity 1, organic compounds, are they useful? Again, this is Sir Carlos, and I hope that you're still with me in this series of Grade 9 Chemistry, the Knowledge Catalog. I'll see you in the next one.